Alright, this is a tutorial on how administrators at the different campuses can use Tutortrac search tools to verify that their entries for their campus in Tutortrac are reasonably accurate. So first thing to do is let's go to the search menu. We're going to do that by going up to this hourglass in the track navigation window. We're going to click Visits, and this is going to open up the attendance for today in Tutortrac. Now we can go to List Options, we can go to Search, and we're going to get a window with a bunch of fields we can use to do a search to narrow down the data that's currently in Tutortrac. The window we have behind us is all 4 campuses. So one thing you might want to do is look at your campus. So let's take a look at a time window. Let's pick last week in the date window. We can use anything that we use in the utilization tab. We could say last week, last month, this week, yesterday, today. We could even put a date range. We could say 4/15/2013 ... 4/30/2013 and get the last 2 weeks of last month. Now if we want to focus in on a campus, let's type in the name of the campus. The @ symbol is a wildcard. This guarantees that you haven't left anything out that Tutortrac might be expecting. North will be sufficient. And let's do a search. This should be results of what happened at North Campus last week. North Campus right now only has one tutor, Nora Rempens, who's using Tutortrac. And we can do a quick look and see, okay, we have North Campus here. She's tutoring science. We see the subject field is filled in. We see that the reason for walk-in is in, and her name is here. Now we could also do a search only looking for work visits by our tutors. This is particularly useful to match the times that your tutor is scheduled to work with the times that they're putting on their timesheet. So again, let's take last week as a time window. Why don't we try the South Campus this time? And to get the work visits, we're going to click on True for Is Work in this drop-down menu. So now we'll be looking at work visits by your tutors on the South Campus for last week. So there are many more tutors at South Campus than the 3 we see here in the consultant field. So it's very possible that there are tutors that are not logging in for work visits in Tutortrac. Otherwise, the data here looks pretty good. How can we narrow down that search? Well, one possibility is that they are not choosing the South Campus for their location when they do a quick visit in Tutortrac. So this is a little harder to nail down. I know of a tutor that's at South Campus. Why don't we just look at that tutor, and we can do that by putting their name in the consultant field. I know their last name, first name, it's a little complicated, and that symbol, the wildcard, works very well. And again, let's put True for work visit, and let's see if it's an issue of picking the right location. Well, no, we got no results. So that means there are no work visits for Sean O'Brien at South Campus. Well, let's try another thing to see if we can narrow this down. Again, let's put in O'Brien for the consultant. Let's just say last week, and let's see what we get for a search. Now this will include hopefully all the students that saw the O'Brien. So we have both a Sean and a Matt who tutor South Campus, so they do have visits, but they didn't put any work visits for their own. So this is important for you as an administrator to know that some of your tutors are not logging in for their work visits. This could be an inconvenient issue, a convenience issue for your tutors. It could be an oversight. This is for you to manage. But this is one way to narrow down a search. Well, like I said, there may be instances of tutors that did not put in the location field. So why don't we take a look at a tutor here. Tina. And let's see what we get for Tina's work visits last month at the West Campus. All right, so we have 2, 4, 6 visits. She works more than that. So there is a possibility that she didn't put in her work visits. That's always a possibility. But it could be that there's an issue with one of the fields not being filled in properly in her quick visits. I know that on West Campus, many of the students are put into Tutortrac with work visits, or with quick visits, excuse me. So let's try looking without picking West Campus in the location field and see what happens. Wow. So now we see there are many more visits for Tina last month than we got when we did a search on location. And we look more carefully here. We have business walk-in in all these areas here, but no West Campus. So the moral of this story is you cannot solely rely on doing searches to verify data in Tutortrac by picking your particular campus in the location field. You may have to look harder. But in most cases, picking the West Campus or South or North will narrow down your searches and give you a very good representation of the data. This also will be an indication, like seeing here with Tina, that she's putting her work visits in, but she's getting one field wrong. And that could be an easy thing to solve by having a talk with the tutor and asking them to make sure that all fields are filled out. So this is a quick overview on how to use the search in the visits menu and looking at work visits for tutors. We will look in the next tutorial on how to look at visits by students and how to verify the information in Tutortrac.